Hello everybody, this is my third trial and in this video I will show you how to use MongoDB in your Discord bot. It is a YouTube live stream request and I'm making a tutorial after years, so don't mind if I do something wrong. Now first of all, you can use any code base, it's your choice, but I am a human and I like to use a package, or I should say a Git repository called discordbot-js. This is my template, I use it, you can use it if you want. And the main packages are Discord.js and Mongoose. Everything else is extra. Like for example, I have .n for getting my environment variable of token and Mongo URI. And after that, we have Express for simple HTTP server. You can ignore it as well. But let's get started with Mongoose. So the first thing is we need to actually connect to the database. For that, we need a Mongo URI. I will link a video on how to get your own Mongo URI. Now, after you have your MongoDB URL, and it looks something like this, MongoDB plus SRV slash lot of bullshit. What we have to do is simply recur the Mongoose package. Then we do mongoose.connect and we input the URI. You can also do something like this, okay? You can put the URL here, but if somebody sees your code, they will just steal it. And of course, if they will see your .env, they will steal it, but I am cool and I have this black thing. Please don't steal it. Now, what happens is when we do mongoose.connect, it returns and promise. So that just consider it, we are connecting it, and if it is successful, this thing happens. If it isn't, then this thing happens. Bam, you guys are connected to MongoDB. But that's not it. Now in MongoDB, what do we do? Consider, let me open my MS Paint. You guys will love my explanation. So how MongoDB works is, this is MongoDB, all right? This black box is MongoDB. Now, inside MongoDB, we have collections. Okay, let me just write it down real quick. This is a collection. Okay, so collection, consider it as a table. So how do we make that? We first of all, I will make a folder called models, and inside that, I will make a folder called user.js. So I have this code snippet in which I get the model and schema from Mongoose, and then I will do module.exports. That means I'm exporting something from this file, and that will be a model, and I'm going to call it user-dot-yt. And after that, this is the first argument, that is the name. Then the second argument is schema. So as you guys can see, just to make it a bit easier for you, second is schema. Consider this as trying to access a collection, right? So what do we need? Let's say we have a user, we can give him an ID, we can give him a username, and we can give him a note, right? I guess. So that's how we create a schema. But you might ask, how do I know if I have to do string, or how do I get a number, or how do I get anything? So there is a thing called schema types. Just click on it, import it. Now what you can do is, if I do schema types dot, bam, we have the list of every possible value. We can do string, we can do number, we can do whatever the hell we want to. So for now, or if you want, you can directly do it if you know it. You know what I'm saying. Now I will make a thing called, let's make it an array, right? To convert it into an array, you can simply do this. That means you put the array brackets inside your string. So now we have a model of nodes which have the string. All right. So it means it is an array of string. It is so confusing. Anyways, that's how we create a model. Let's move on to something better. So these are simple interaction command stuff. So we can have our commands. So I will make a simple file, and I'm going to call it node.js. So I have this snippet for node, manage your node. Now I will add some simple stuff like view, that is view somebody's node, and it is not required, so I will change it into an option, and slash command option user, type is 6, user whose node you want to view, and then required will be doesn't exist. After that, what else can we need? Oh yeah, we need an option to update. So update your node. And how do we do that? That's a very good question. We will need to add another option, that will be node, and it will be 3, that means string new node. So pretty much we need similar one for deleting it. I will call it delete your note. And let me just remove that. Now let's get started. So this is where our real MongoDB things will start. So first of all, I will like to get the option which we are working on. All right. So I will just do get sub command. Bam. Now I will like to get the user is equals to interaction dot options dot get user. That will be user, otherwise interaction dot user. I'm not going to explain you this normal logic thing because that's not the essential part. I will explain you the database part. And of course, if I have not cut it this part, you can skip it. It's kind of useless. Now, first of all, the thing is, what if somebody want to view? So they have chosen the view option or the view subcommand. In this case, first of all, you need to import your user model. How do I do that? Well, I'm using Visual Studio Code, so it will do it for me. Otherwise, you can do it yourself. Now, we need to get the data. How do we do that? Const user data. And I'm going to call it user model. All right. So I will do user data is equals to await user model dot find one, and ID will be user dot ID. Now, if you remember, user the required is not true. So that means if they will not put any value, it will become interaction user. All right. That's a cool thing I like to do. Now, after that, what do we do? Simple. If user data does not exist, then we are going to return and we are going to give an error. How do we do that? I will interaction.edit reply, set color to red, and in title I will say note doesn't exist, and then we are done. But now the case is note, like if note doesn't exist, we give an error. Otherwise, that means note exists, we will reply with it. So what we are going to do is I will use backticks. I will use this cool emoji, and then I will do user.usernames note, and then I will do dot set description, and I will use these two things /n/n bang bang bang. Now in here I will do user data dot note. All right. Okay, it is dot notes. Nice. Okay, so we have multiple nodes. That's so tragic. This is so tragic. I will just do this then. Well, we have multiple nodes, man. I didn't knew that. My bad. In that case, what we can do is I will do nodes dot map. I will do user data dot nodes dot map. Note is equals to this dot join /n. And here we will need to change it to if not user data question mark dot nodes dot question mark dot length. All right. So if there are the length is 0, then we will give them an error. Now, my friends, in the delete section, you will need to add another thing that will be index, because we want to know which index they want to delete. Index of the node you want to delete. All right. So now this is how you actually get data. You will need to do await user model dot find one, and there are more features. What if you want to find multiple users? You can just do dot find and you can pass a filter as well. Like you can say something like username is Shishui, so you can find all the users whose username is this. So if you use dot find, it responds back with an array. If you use dot find one, it responds back with the document, our single data row. Okay, so that's the difference in find one and find. Now let's move on to something else. What if you don't want to do this? First of all, let me just write the index thing here. I try to import everything in the first section. Why? I don't know, man. I just have an habit. So after this, what if somebody want to add a note? So we are going to call an add command. What we are going to do is, first of all, I want you to get the user data. Now there are two things that you can do here. Like we are trying to find the user data, but what if it does not exist in database? In that case, we can add this or symbol and we can do dot create. That will create it. And if you want to look cool, like you want to look like the cool dude, what you can do is user data dot find one and update, and then you pass an empty object, and then you can pass absurd true. Now what happens is, if we do user model dot find one and update, the MongoDB will find a document with this filter and save it. Like for example, if I do something like username Karthike, then it will update this user ID's name to Karthike. But if we keep it empty, then no changes are made. But if the user document is not found, it does nothing. Then we have absurd. If user ID is not found in the document, it creates a new user. So you can use this thing if you want, or you can stick with the old normal thing. Now after that, we have our user data. Now we need to make some changes. So what we can do is await user model dot find one and update. Yep, the same function we just read. Find one and update. First of all, we give them the filter, and after that we need to, what do we need to do? We need to add a note. So we need to push into the array, right? So we can do $push, and then we need to choose where do we want to push it. We want to push it in the notes. What do we want to push? We want to push this note, so we will put it right there. All right, so this is the cool way to do it. And we of course have a not noob but easier or a simpler way to do it. That is, we will simply do user data dot notes dot push the note, and here what we will do is notes is equals to, or I should say colon, user data dot notes. You can do any of these. $push is a bit more cool, but sometime for simplicity you might do this. It's your personal choice, it's your code. All right, so that's how we update the data. Now let me just give a random reply to my boy. We can say something like green, and what should I say, note saved. That sounds good enough. And here we can have a check mark so it looks cool. Window dot check. Okay, that thing works. And in the description we can just show the note. Simple as that. Now this is how you can update your document. So pretty much $push is for pushing things, or you can change something, as I told you earlier. That's how this thing works. And don't forget the absurd true if you want to automatically create an entry in case it doesn't exist. Now let's move on to delete. What if we want to delete the damn thing? Then we can do this. We can do option delete. Now first of all, we have an index, as you guys can see. So the first thing that we can do is we can give them an error. Always think about how we can stop it, how we can stop the user's progress. So what I can do is bracket index. You can add question mark dot if you want, but it's useless. Anyways, if user data dot notes bracket index does not exist, then we will say this node does not exist. Why are you trying to delete it if it doesn't exist, you dumbass? And after that, what we can do is, well, there are two things. First thing is you can do $pull notes, and in bracket you can do something like this. And this should work, but what if it doesn't work? Like, what if you are unsure, it looks scary? Then you can do something like this. You can just do user data dot notes is equals to user data dot notes dot filter, and I will add underscore I is equals to I is not equals to index. So what this will do is it will filter the notes, and it will keep all the notes except for the one which have that index, right? Simple as that. And then we simply do this. All right, it's simple as that. It's your choice what you want to do. Now we will say node removed, and here I will just show the index, and we are done. Now as you can see, we know how to update things, we know how to save things, but we don't know how to delete a document. So I will show you how. So let's make a command, and we will call it clear. And what we can do is we will do await user model dot find one and delete. All right, now what is going to happen is, first of all, the user model, our mongoose, will find the document. If it exists in the collection, it will delete it. All right, but if it does not exist in the collection, it will not delete it. So consider this as not deleted case. So we will say no notes exist. Otherwise, what we are going to say is notes clear. Simple as that. And the thing is, when the document is deleted, it will also, in that case, user data will be equal to that deleted document. But if that document never existed, then it will be null. Simple as that. All right. And let me also add the clear thing right here. CV. We don't need the option. And clear. Now let's test it out. I have no idea if it will work, and it started. That was a very bad start. So in package.json, I will need to do npm init-y. Very tragic. Now we need to choose the main file, and let's get started. It better work this time. Okay. So we need to install some packages like msprettyfy because this code needs them. And I really hope it will work this time because the video is already, what, 16 minutes? Man, nobody's watching till now. So technically I'm speaking to myself, but if you are still listening, I hope you are going to see this cool progress. And I will show you some cool things later on because you are still watching. Anyways, first of all, we need to go to a different Discord server. Like go here, go back here, then we can do slash note. And let's start by viewing a note. Let's see what happens. Oops, no note exists. So let's add a note. Note 1. Let's see what will happen. Note 1 is saved. Let's view the note now. You can see we can view it. Yes, sir. Let's add few more notes, like maybe note 2nd and note san, chini san. I think san means 3. I hope so. Anyways, then we can do note view once more, and guess what? It exists. Now let's try to delete. We can do 1. 1 will delete this. All right, you guys know zero indexing. I hope so. Then we can do note view once more, and it is gone. Now, of course, we have our clear command. Let's see how that will go. Notes cleared. Yes, sir. So as you can see, that's how our update, delete, and everything works. I will give you a little summary and some cool tricks which you might use. So first of all, we have our .find one, right? And similar to that, we have our user model .find. I already told you that. But now comes the cool tricks. So for example, let's say we have age as well. I'm just using simple, or let's use something more Discord like balance. So we have some money. All right. Now, what if I want to check? What if I want to find rich people of the Discord server? I can just do const rich people is equals to user model.find, and then I will do balance colon $GT 1000. So what this means is it will find the users whose balance is greater than 10,000, or we can do GTE, that means the balance is greater than or equal to 10,000. Guess what? We can do LT, then we will get the poor people. So this means balance less than 10,000 or balance less than equal to 10,000. This is a cool thing that you can do. And you know what? I will show you one more cool trick. Well, I will suggest you watch this video. I just linked it to get more detailed information. And I will tell you about this. What if you want to find people whose username is not Shishui? Like normally, if you do this, that means find the user whose username is Shishui. But what if you want to find everyone who is not Shishui? In that case, add these brackets, type $NE, that means not equal, and bang. Easy. So that's how these things work. There are a few more tricks. You can check them out in the video. Now, in our find one and update, what if, like, let's say new user data is equals to this. In this case, if you will try to get, like, let's say the number of nodes will be increased. For example, if initially I have 5 nodes, and if you try to do something like new user data dot nodes dot length, you know what will be the response? 5. Why? Because this thing returns the old document, like before the update. So if you want the latest document, you can do new true. Now in this case, it will be 6 because a new node is pushed. So that's how that works. But as you might have noticed that I am doing nothing with this value, like I'm just updating it, I don't care about anything, right? So in such cases you can likely prefer to use update one, because you do not need the returned value, you do not need the updated value, so you can just use update one. And similar to that, we have a thing called user.update many. What if you want to text the rich people of your Discord server? Just do balance dollar greater than 10,000. Oh, these guys are rich. You know what we can do? We can increase their balance by minus 1,000. See? So I told you about dot increase, probably not. So if you have a number value, you can use increase to change it. You can put a positive number to increase it, negative number to decrease it. All right. That's how update many works. Now, if we go on the delete section, I will not go through this because it is just pull and push, whatever, who cares. Let's go to this clear thing. You might have noticed we have user dot find one and delete. It is fine because we need to know if it was deleted or not. But similar to that, we have another thing, like you can do this instead. So we will say response is equals to user model dot delete one. Now what I can do is, if response dot acknowledged, it will actually give us the count of how many results or how many documents were acknowledged. Like if it is equals to one, that means the document is deleted, we are doing delete one. Or for simplicity, you can say if it is less than one, then no notes exist. This means no document was deleted. So you can do delete one if you do not want the response back in find one and delete. Or you want to delete many, you can just do delete many. So like for example, you are like, oh, there are way too many poor people in my Discord server, I don't like them. In that case, you can do delete many whose balance is less than, and remember we need $LT, we need dollar, all right? So everyone who is less than $1,000, delete them all right? If the this is less than one, that means no one was deleted. Otherwise, you can do response dot acknowledged number of people were deleted. This, like if it is five, that means five people were deleted. All right, that's how that works. So that's all I wanted to tell you about these things. There is a lot of things that you can do. I will link some documents, you can check them out. And if you like this video, I don't know, man, give me something. Bye bye.